anywhere in the world.
Well, with us tonight in New York, Lisa Bloom, who's a CNN legal analyst. In Hollywood tonight is Leslie Marshall, the host of the nationally syndicated radio show, The Leslie Marshall Show. Lisa, I want to begin with you. Were you as shocked as so many people were that North Korea would sentence these two ladies to 12 years doing hard labor in a prison camp, or should we not be so surprised?
Well, I was, because I remember the heartfelt pleas that were made just last week on the Larry King Show by Lisa Ling and the family, the 4-year-old daughter of Yoona Lee. And these were two women who were covering an important story, the possibility of sex trafficking along that border that catches up so many women. If they accidentally stepped into a stream or stepped over a border, it was clearly an accident. And to incarcerate them and sentence them to 12 years hard labor really is appalling. I can only hope that diplomatic efforts are going to get them released.
Yeah, how heartbreaking for this family. As Whoopi Goldberg mentioned, she is family to The View. Lisa Ling first joined up with The View back in 1999 as one of their co-hosts. She was there for about 2.5 years, and on The View this morning, Joy Behar could hardly believe what happened. Watch what she said.
Lisa Ling was part of our family for a few years, and I just think it's just awful. And when I heard that they got 12 years this morning, I really was shocked. Steve was sleeping, and I woke him up to tell him, and he was very upset. It's like you can't believe that this happens, you know?
Leslie Marshall, over to you. Should we be surprised?
Well, I think the sentence and the type of sentence, North Korea's labor camps are notorious for torture, for beatings, for inhumane treatment. What we're hopeful for, if you remember all the diplomatic negotiations for their release prior to this, they just stopped in their tracks and they said, you got to let the court do what it has to do. I believe the court is clearly, and the country is clearly shaking its fist, sticking up its middle finger, if you will, at the United States with this ruling. But I do believe with the efforts of our great nation and the great diplomacy on our side with North Korea, I do believe it's possible for these women to be released. But right now, we're looking at 10 days before these women are entering extremely harsh conditions in these types of labor camps in North Korea. So it's the type of the sentence is the length of the sentence, and the labor camps are certainly surprising. The timing of it is certainly not.
Yeah, and on those labor camps and the conditions there, I got to tell you, I discovered some pretty chilling information today on what it's like to be in one of those hard labor camps in North Korea. David Hawk is the author of a study on what it's like inside those prisons. He says, quote, it's extremely hard labor under extremely brutal conditions. These places have very high rates of death in detention. The casualties from forced labor and inadequate food supplies are very high. Lisa Bloom, Lisa Ling and her family really has every reason to worry about Lisa's sister.
They do, and this is also a reminder of what a lot of journalists in North Korea and China routinely encounter, being imprisoned for long periods of time simply for doing what we are all protected here in the United States under the First Amendment for doing. It's absolutely appalling. I only hope that because they are American, that they can be released, and I also hope that after they're released, we'll remember the other journalists that are also incarcerated in that part of the world.
I want to ask you something quickly, Leslie Marshall. I mentioned Laura Ling and Yoona Lee were working a story in North Korea for Current TV, created and overseen by former VP Al Gore. Should Lisa and her family be thinking positive now that Al Gore could get involved here and get something done?
Well, I don't even think that former Vice President Gore needs to get involved with the incredible team we have, certainly our Secretary of State leading the helm, Hillary Rodham Clinton. But I do think, obviously, he certainly can make some phone calls and can move people faster at much higher levels here and in North Korea.
Yeah.
But diplomatically is the only way this is going to be turned around. There is no way they can appeal this in the country of North Korea.
I do need to end it there. We're hoping for the best. And late today, we did learn that the State Department is getting involved, as you mentioned there, Leslie. So clearly, this has reached the highest levels of the U.S. government, and we'll continue to send our prayers out to their families. Lisa Bloom, Leslie Marshall, thanks for being with us tonight.